I cannot believe in the year of our Lord 2025 in the United States of America, there are people who live in this country who do not know that Obamacare was a slur by the Republicans for the A.C.A. I can't believe it. You know, the world used to think that Americans were intelligent and smart. But because of this TikTok, the world now realizes that Americans are easily manipulated, lied to, and they just absorb it into their brain. The latest is that because of the A.C.A, premiums have gone up. No, that's another manipulation by the Republicans. Corporations, United Healthcare, Cigna, Humana, all of them set the rates. Corporations. And how do they set the rates? They have what are called actuaries. Actuaries. And it's a game of like chance. The actuary calculates how many of you Americans will seek health care, what the premium will be, and how much profit they will make. Yes, that's how it works. It has nothing to do with the legislation. It has to do with GREED. This is what Luigi was trying to tell you.
All right, listen up. Just like the white people voted for Trump because of racial things and all that, just because they chose Trump because Trump was a white person and Kamala Harris was a black person, and they felt like we want to choose our own. We don't want to choose somebody who is not our own. That is the same way white people did away with the Obamacare because they wanted the so-called Affordable Care Act. They did not do away with Obamacare because they knew what Obamacare entailed, not because they knew what really Obamacare was all about, but because they just had in mind that Obamacare is was formed, okay, was brought by Obama, and now Affordable Care Act is being brought by Donald Trump, and therefore, just because it was brought by a black person and they hate a black person or then don't love a black person, it was very easy for them to be convinced to do away with the Obamacare and bring in the Affordable Care Act. And up to 2025, even some of them did not know that Obamacare was the Affordable Care Act. Little did they know that Obamacare was exactly Affordable Care Act. It was just the changing of the name. But everything that was inside here is everything that is inside here. Now, Donald Trump would never work under something that was created by another person. And of course, it also has a name of another person who was ruling before him. He wanted to change everything to look like his. Now, there was no any other different ideology or any other different a way or a way like Obama wanted Trump wanted the Obamacare to look like, but everything that was in Obamacare was perfect. It was really perfect. Therefore, what Donald Trump wanted is only to change the name and make people believe that this one is a new care that he has brought by himself. Are you getting my point? Because that is how America has always been doing to the white people, confusing the people and making them believe that you are changing something or making them believe they are living a certain kind of life, yet they are not. You see? So it was just turned by name to be made Affordable Care Act, simply because the first one had a name Obama. So even Trump would be able, he would have made it Trump Care Act. Trump Care, you see, but because it would look insane, he never wanted to bridge from Trump Care to from Obamacare to Trump Care, he brought in the Affordable Care Act, which has the same readings, the same activities, the same responsibilities as the Obama Care. Okay, and this is where now white people find it so difficult sometimes, because they don't take time to read, they don't take time to understand things. They've been manipulated because of a system in place that makes them believe on the things that doesn't exist, and that is who they have always been. That is how they have always been living. Now, before I continue, let's watch these videos and get a great details and go deeper in what I'm talking about right now. Okay, and then I'll come back and say more. As you're watching this video, prepare your thoughts, have them shared with me in the comment section. I will do my best to make sure I read all of them and give a response where possible. I'm also going to ask you to subscribe to this channel if you're watching for the first time. Thanks for coming. For the 10 subscribers, I really appreciate. But until then, let's take a look at the video.
Hey, what's up? So, for those MAGA supporters who stopped reading when Dr. Seuss books got a little too complicated, repeat after me. The Affordable Care Act and Obamacare are the same. One more time. The Affordable Care Act and Obamacare are the same. Did you get, wait, you did, what? You didn't know that? Hold on. The Affordable Care Act and Obamacare are the same. So while your president is on the news and being interviewed talking about Obamacare needs to be redacted and I'm going to fix it and bliggity blah, 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 and you're rooting and cheering and applauding and all that kind of good stuff because you're like, we support the Affordable Care Act. I hate to tell you this, but they are the same. So the Affordable Care Act that provides you with medical coverage that you can afford is, say it with me, Obama, the black president, care. Things you learn. I mean, it just amazes me. Remember, you shouldn't have stopped at green eggs and ham. There was more reading to be done later on in life. Wow, who'd have thought?
And which plan do you support, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
The Affordable Care Act.
And what is it about Obamacare that you do not like?
I just think that there's a lot of holes in it and it needs to be revamped. I think
And you think
hasn't been thought out.
You think the Affordable Care Act is a better plan than Obamacare?
Better, but I'm not happy with that either.
What do you agree with, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I'm more sort of towards the Affordable Care Act, but I'm also very sympathetic for people that don't have the ability to have proper medical insurance.
So the Affordable Health Care Act is still a better option than
Yes.
Obamacare?
Yes.
And why do you not agree with the Affordable Care Act?
Well, I think it's not really available for all.
So the Affordable Care Act is more affordable than Obamacare?
Just the name says it all.
Right. You would agree with the Affordable Care Act?
Absolutely. I think it's nice that everyone can afford it, and everyone should be able to afford it, but to force people to pay something and then doctors to make something, limiting their ability to do their job, that's kind of anti-American.
Right. So Obamacare is un-American?
I think it's kind of un-American to force people. What if they can't afford it? What if they want more coverage?
And the Affordable Care Act is American?
I think it's more American because it allows people to make their own choices on what they want and who they want to work with.
Do you agree with the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare?
The affordable.
And why do you prefer the Affordable Care Act over Obamacare?
I just don't agree with the whole Obamacare policy thing that's going on. I just don't agree with it.
And do you believe that an informed citizenry is essential to a democracy?
Yes.
So you disagree with Obamacare?
Yes, I do.
Do you think insurance companies should be able to exclude people with pre-existing conditions?
No.
Do you agree that young people should be able to stay on their parents' plans until they are 26?
They should be able to, yes.
Do you agree that companies with 50 or more employees should provide health care?
I do.
And so by that logic, you would be for the Affordable Care Act?
Yes.
What plan do you support, Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
The Affordable Care Act.
And why do you support that over Obamacare?
Do not like Obamacare. I don't like anything that has to be forced for everybody to buy. This is not good.
Do you think Obamacare is socialist?
Yes, I do.
Do you think the Affordable Care Act is socialist?
No.
Do you believe that Obamacare will eventually lead to gun prohibition?
Yes.
Do you know that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing?
Well, good morning from Canada, from Barrie. just had something funny to share this morning. MAGA. Ugh. So, my MAGA family member sends me this video this morning, and they are quite upset about the fact that their insurance premium is going up substantially. And they're blaming Obamacare, okay, the A.C.A. They're MAGA. So, and this is an intelligent person, wealthy person. And they don't understand, or just not paying attention because it doesn't fit their narrative, that the reason the insurance premium is skyrocketing is because their party, the GOP, the Republicans, MAGA, are getting rid of the A.C.A, Obamacare. They're cutting it. And with the cut, guess what? Premiums go up. And yet this person is blaming some days I just got nothing. I mean, I tried to explain it back, and I'm sure I'll get a very mean video soon.
So MAGA, you're upset now because now you're finding out that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing. You voted to get rid of Obamacare. I guess because you thought Obamacare was only for you know who. Not knowing that the Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are one and the same. It was the Republicans who told you and gave the Affordable Care Act the nickname Obamacare. They did it to scare you, and you fell for it. So you voted out of hate to try to get rid of something out of hate. But now you're not going to have health insurance because he has been trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act since his first time in office. And now that he has no guardrails, it's gone. He's going to try everything in his power to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. So all of you who voted to get rid of Obamacare, you just lost your damn insurance. Oh well, I guess you live and you learn.
Does MAGA know that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing? And do they also know that the reason we have it is because the Republicans wanted a compromise? Obama wanted something closer to universal health care. He wanted a public option that people could choose that was government funded instead of paying higher prices for private insurance. The Republicans were the ones that said, no, the insurance companies have to make their money. And so Obamacare was the compromise. And what's even more amusing is A.C.A. originally was because of Republican think tanks. They originally came up with the concept of the idea prior to Obama. The individual mandate, which means that everybody was required to have health insurance, was actually proposed by the Heritage Foundation in the late 1980s. This was supposed to be a market-based alternative to universal health care. In 2006, in Massachusetts, Mitt Romney created Romneycare. This used the exact same framework: mandates, subsidies, private insurance exchanges. 2009, 2010, not a single Republican voted for the A.C.A., even though the entire thing was the same exact framework of the policies that they had proposed, and were perfectly fine with Romneycare having. For all the Republicans bitching and all of the time that they had to think of something to replace A.C.A., they still have no plan.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
Affordable Care Act.
And why is that?
Well, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Obama, so I don't support him in the Obama things that he's got going on. I'm actually really excited for President-elect Donald Trump, so.
Right. So you don't like anything Obama does, and you prefer the Affordable Care Act?
Absolutely.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I support Obamacare.
So if you were a senator and you could vote today, you would vote to keep Obamacare instead of the Affordable Care Act?
Yes.
Do you support Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act?
I guess the Affordable Care Act.
And why do you prefer the Affordable Care Act over Obamacare?
I'm not really sure. My girlfriend supports Trump, so I go with whatever she says.
What is the main difference between Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act?
One is you pay, and then the other one is Obama pays for you.
Right, Obama pays, pretty big difference.
Pretty big difference.
I believe that Obamacare, the premiums are too high, so people are end up paying more.
Right.
So I believe in the Affordable Care Act.
And so the Affordable Care Act is more affordable than Obamacare?
Right, correct.
Right.
Which is obvious based on the name.
It's in the name, right.
Right.
Why do you like the Affordable Care Act more than Obamacare?
Because I don't like Obama.
But you like the Affordable Care Act?
Yeah.
What if I told you Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are the same thing?
Now, MAGA nuts don't know that the Affordable Care Act and the Obamacare are the same thing. Okay, they don't know that. But here's the crazy thing to that is that even though they don't know that, right? Like, but we know it's the same thing, but they don't know it's the same thing. Here's the crazy thing though. Why would you vote for someone knowing? Because let's look at it this way. Let's say they did have the Affordable Care Act. Like, they had the Affordable Care Act, and then you have us having Obamacare. Okay, we got Obamacare, they have the Affordable Care Act. Why would you vote for somebody that you know wants to cancel Obamacare? Why? But we all know why. Damn, man. Cold-hearted, man. Cold-hearted people, man.
Y'all, so I just saw a video where we're still circling the airport when it comes to the Affordable Care Act versus Obamacare. Now, we have already established that those are one and the same. The name of the act is called the Affordable Care Act. But Republicans used to call it Obamacare because they knew that you were so stupid, you would think that Obamacare was something you didn't want. That you would think it was something different from the Affordable Care Act. They were right. And that's what it is.
All right, listen up. In America, white Americans have been deceived many a times because they don't know where they're coming from, and they also don't know where they're going to. Their life has been limited to a certain point where the system only allows them to know a certain kind of things, and it denies them an opportunity and denies them the right to know a lot of things about themselves. You see, so even if they know some other things, what they know about themselves is what is not what really exists. It's not what really is true, and because of that, white Americans have been falling many a times. They've been making mistakes many times because the system allows them to know some things. The system allows them to do some things, yet those things they're doing are not the right things they're supposed to be doing. You see? So like, for example, when Donald Trump comes to power and talks about the Affordable Care Act, you see, white people think that Affordable Care Act is something else different from Obamacare. Remember, that was one of the manifestos of, Donald Trump. He said that he was going to do away with the Obamacare Act and introduce something else better, something else good, something else wonderful compared to the Obamacare Act. What Trump did, he just went ahead and erased the name Obama, care, and put the name Affordable Act. You see, this one was Obamacare, and this one is Affordable Care Act. So he just eliminated the Obama and replaced with Affordable Care. You see, Affordable Act, and he used it as one of the manifestos to make sure that people in America, they are voting for him, especially the white Americans. You see, he made it as one of his manifestos. And when you walk around on the streets, be asking people, what do you know about the Obamacare Act? They don't know. What do you know about the Affordable Care Act? They don't know. So you ask people, do you know the difference between Obamacare Act and Affordable Care Act? They don't know. Okay, which one do you prefer between Affordable Care Act and Obamacare Act? And some are going to say, we want the Affordable Care. In fact, many of the white Americans, they would say, they have been saying that we want the Affordable Care Act. A few of them didn't know about it. They didn't know anything to say. Some black people said Obamacare Act because they know what it really is. They are the same thing. In fact, even the people who have been educating the white people, yeah, on these acts have been the black people, because the black people take time to read and understand. You see, a few of white people also know it is the same thing. Yeah, and there are also a few of white people who give in to the Obamacare Act, the Obamacare. That is what they want, and that is what they have always wanted. So somebody is telling you, Obamacare was not doing this, it wasn't covering this, it wasn't doing this, it was a little bit expensive. When we come to Affordable Care Act, somebody tells you Affordable Care Act is cheap. So this is somebody who is also not even speaking out of understanding or knowledge. He's just speaking because at the end of the day, he must defend the Affordable Care Act because it is to some point related to Trump, because Trump brought it, changed the name of the Obamacare to Affordable Care Act. So because Trump claimed he came with it, people say we prefer the Affordable Care Act, not knowing they are actually talking about the same thing. You see, not knowing they are talking about the same thing. So just because it was brought by Donald Trump, is a white person, and they have always been to a white person, they didn't even know what will come after. They have voted in the president, who is DJ right now, but they have seen it after DJ has become now the president. You see, because when there was an existence of Obamacare had not failed. It was still working for the people. So even if Trump tries to change the name, he's trying to brainwash the minds of people and try to tell people, this is what I have brought for you, trying to wash out what they think about Obama and all that, about the previous president, to make them start thinking about him, to brainwash them, to make them believe this is what I have brought into action. Are you getting my point? Because there is nothing that was changed there. There was no a better idea to make the so-called the Obamacare Act better when it was transiting into the Affordable Care Act, or it wasn't cheaper compared to the Obamacare Act. It was still the same. But now, when your mind is confused a little bit, you begin thinking even an expensive thing, you look at it like cheap. Even when someone does anything bad to you, you don't complain because you have been brainwashed. Your mind has been tampered with. Are you getting my point? So when your mind has been tampered with, even something you never voted for or you never wanted, you're going to just you don't see it. Listen, it's just, let's take for example, if you want to vote for a leader into power, and this leader isn't working well, but this leader is in the party that you love, okay, or he's vying with the party that you love, you're definitely going to choose this leader over any other leader. It doesn't matter if his ideologies are not making sense or it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, you're going to give in to this same person, okay? Why? Because you just have love for this person. So the white Americans, a lot of them, they actually were very much into Donald Trump. And because they were very much into Donald Trump knew that a lot of white Americans are giving in to him. They're supporting him. So what did Donald Trump did? What Donald Trump did is that he took advantage of that. He took advantage of the love that people have for him. He took advantage of the very much concern and very much care people have for him. And he decided to make them, to manipulate them, to make them think of things that doesn't exist. Him changing from Obamacare to Affordable Care Act, it was just a way of playing tricks, It's called politics. That is what it's called. To make you believe on this, not on that, or on that, not on this. You thinking there is something different, yet there is no anything different. Obamacare is the same as the Affordable Care Act. You see, white Americans, a lot of them don't know. But it was used as a weapon to make them vote for Trump. That is why you say many white Americans, they are complaining because of the government, because of the existing regime, because the existing regime, everything it promised the people, it did not deliver, and that is why there is cries, there is problem, there is economic crisis, and all those kind of things. So, yeah, all the white Americans out there, they should know the Obamacare is just the same as the Affordable Care Act. And Affordable Care Act has no difference from Obamacare Act. You're played with your mind just to make you believe on other things. It is very funny sometimes, but again, some people are shocked. I saw when other people are being asked about the Obamacare Act and the Affordable Care Act, and some of the people are really surprised, like, what is this man asking? They didn't know. Up to this moment, it is when they know. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I'll do my best to make sure I read all the comments and give a response where possible. If you're watching me for the first time, kindly don't forget to subscribe, share, like, yeah? And I will really do appreciate. Thanks for coming, and thanks for always being here. Thanks also for watching, and welcome back again to the Black Empire.